Brian, I'd like to know. No, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all.
Hey, shitty. It's live TV, Eric. What if I rifle off the 7 right here, right now? Not the 7 deadly sins, not the 7 vials of God's wrath, but the 7 words you're not
Don't
allowed
even
to
think
say
about it.
on TV. What are you going to do then, Eric?
I'll do whatever I have to do.
No, you won't do anything. You'll be get a lot of trouble. But don't worry, Eric. Seems like Mr. Wonderful has made tonight's subject respect. Something you can't buy, you can't sell, something you can't steal. You've got to earn it. Respect. It's what pumps through the horsemen's black hearts. It's what causes a man like Double A to smack me across the face. And the greed and the quest of respect is what makes a man like Kevin Sullivan mad with greed. Yeah, you're right, Eric. I'm not Hogan. I'm not Sting. I'm Brian Pillman. And don't you ever forget it. And I have a dream. And that is to teach you and everybody else respect. And I'll do whatever it takes. Even if I gotta hack your thumbs off.
Easy, Pillman. Easy, Pillman. You are treading thin ice. More action on the Clash of the Champions.
Okay, this is Steve Kern, and you're listening to the Turnbuckle Throwbacks with Phil and Jay, and that pain in the ass Choppy.
What this network needs, this network gets. I promise you that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Broadcasting live from Shaolin, New York City.
Freak Show Central.
Where's that?
New York City.
It's the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast with Phil, Jay, and that pain in the ass, Choppy. On Rant EM Radio, proud member of the Shining Wizards Network and Dark Satellite Media.
Turnbuckle time. 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 When you hear them coming, don't run for cover. Watching wrestling like no other. Turnbuckle time. Throwbacks from back in the day. Reviewed by Phil, Choppy, and Jay. Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time.
Can't make this shit up.
Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time.
I can't make this shit up.
That could be the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it just might be.
Seriously, might be the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is March date, the 12th. March 12th, 2021, episode 397 with 3 away from 400.
Hey now.
Hey now. EMRadio.com, part of the Shining Wizards Network, part of Dark Satellite Media. I'm Phil.
And I'm Jay.
And that is Jay. And
Turnbuckle time.
Turnbuckle time.
Oh, that's a great.
So I wake up this morning, and I listen to it, and I just fall apart, hysterically laughing, right? And then I get a text from Matt Squires. Hey, buddy, I sent you something in an email. I said, I just opened it. I love you, man. So Matt Squires made us an intro. Play it every.
That's literally that's got to be our new theme music. It has to be our new theme music.
But more importantly, let's play Big Copper Pumps music. Let's do that for let's do that for a second, all right?
Yeah. On a different note, I seen he's going to be a big star of our throwback tonight. I seen a video on YouTube with Scott Steiner throwing chairs at fans for chanting Billy Gunn.
Oh God! Let's say hello to my cousin Richie.
Anybody seen Richie?
Let's say hello to Shaylin, who's under the weather.
Ooh.
Fuck you!
Blair's in the room. Uptown Georgie's in the room. What's up, whatever? Tomas is in the room.
You know.
Welcome to your Friday Night Delight.
Turnbuckle time.
Turnbuckle times. Turnbuckle times. Matt Squires is a goddamn
MVP.
Genius.
That is amazing.
Is a goddamn genius. Shout out to our boy Singh, who gave us Skinner.
Yes.
Dropping into the Turnbuckle Throwback. What's up, Gordon? Yeah, so Skinner gave us a nice shout out today. So thank you. We're getting our celebrity list is
it's everlasting.
We got Bullet Club members, ECW members. We got Glacier, Harvey Whippleman, Barry Horowitz.
Glacier, who we found out does not curse.
Does not curse. DDP, Mark Merrow, a fucked up Just Incredible, Enzo, Jerry Lynn. Oh, there's so many of them. Thank you very much, Ron Singh. We love you. Anyway.
Yeah,
that song's gonna stick in my head. It's been in my head all day, Rich.
That's amazing.
It's been in my head all day.
Turnbuckle times.
Turnbuckle times. Turnbuckle times.
Genius.
I think that might be the name of the episode tonight.
Oh.
The Turnbuckle times. Turnbuckle times.
Well, we definitely got a good one.
Yeah, the Photoshop of Matt Squires again. Mr. Minister Mikey Whipwreck. Choppy's on location again.
Yeah, Choppy's on assignment.
We spoke to Choppy yesterday. Just because Rod's bought a Wu-Tang shirt, right? So Rod says, he's like, I'm gonna frame it. It's too nice to wear. I'm like, don't you do that?
Yeah, wear it.
You wear that goddamn shirt because you're gonna make Choppy a happy man. That was old Choppy's idea, the Wu-Tang, turning the Wu upside down, making an M.
Yep.
So here we are, Friday night.
Thank God it's here, right?
Thank God it's Friday. It was a long work week, actually.
Yeah.
I was just like, ugh. Ready to take a hostage this week. I was like, and then the weather nice, and everybody's coming in from the outside. You know how nice all the girls. It's so nice outside. I'm in a sub basement, lady. I ain't got no fucking windows, man. That shit.
Yeah.
So I went out today. I had to go. I need an entertainment center because I had this one from my other apartment. And it's like a piece of shit. It's just holding stuff up. I need an entertainment center because I got the PS5 now and all this other shit up there. And I don't want to go and spend $1 gazillion on one because I don't have like proper furniture per se. So I went to Walmart and the only Walmart that had what I wanted. Truth be told, if you guys don't know, if you guys aren't local, Staten Island is basically half of Staten Island is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So we live by there's 3 different bridges that all go to New Jersey.
Yep.
And there's like at least a dozen Walmarts in a 20-minute radius to where we live.
Yep.
Jay and I live, right? Okay. The only Walmart that had what I wanted was in Bayonne. Wow. Bayonne is like the south of that part of Jersey, and you can't go there on the 1st of the month because it's check day and motherfuckers out there scheming, getting their food and whatnot because it's a super Walmart as well. You hustle, but you're all grimy out there. I'm just putting that out there. What's up, Mike Miller?
Mike Miller there.
Trophy whores in effect. What's up, brother? Yeah, I went to Wally's, and then so that was the quickest in and out because Steph's like, if we're going to Wally's, I got to make a list.
That's the whole idea with those types of places. You got to go in with a plan because otherwise you're walking out and your fucking card's feeling it. Yes,
because you're buying shit you don't need and you definitely don't want when you get home. You want right then and there, right? So of course we don't do that, but I only buy the fucking thing, and I bought a couple of gimmicks for I have my baseball draft this tomorrow, my strat draft this tomorrow.
Yeah.
So who's bringing fucking extension cords? Bringing a computer? We're getting like a draft board. We'll rent out a part of a bar, whatever it is. Hey, Tabes, the queen is in the room.
There she is.
What's up, our queen, the queen of Turnbuckle Throwbacks?
Queen Turnbuckle time.
Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time.
A little under the weather this week, and we had one of those old concerns. So.
She said the crew is watching.
Yes.
Everybody's
Hello,
watching.
everybody.
Hello, everybody. So so I go to that's the quickest I've been in Walmart in like the last 2 years.
Like you said, you gotta go with a full belly, and you gotta go with a plan.
Yup. So I went in and I got this gimmick, and I don't know how to put stuff together. I barely put together myself. So I was telling Jay, I'm like, I get anxiety. This. What I don't like about Walmart here is they aren't 24 hours. Like the Walmart, like late night Walmart theater. There is one that was 24 hours, Mike. It's in Old Bridge. There's two in Old Bridge. The route was 24 hours because of the Rona. None of them are 24 hours right now. Yeah. But there is a 24-hour one, and if you go there like around 11:45 before midnight, and there's like a shift change, you get all the animals that come in and they want to shop. So it's hysterical, dude. So if the world comes back to any kind of normalcy, I think we should take a trip out there.
Walmart viewing.
Yeah, the people of Walmart. You ever see those websites?
Yeah. What is it? Walmart fashion or something like that?
Yeah. But listen, God bless them. They come correct. They're always cheap, and they always have what you want. You know,
for sure.
Yeah, for cheesy. And I had to get some stuff. Like I said, we had a computer. We have to plug in there's a computer we have to plug into a monitor tomorrow.
Yeah,
and it's actually a live draft. It's a baseball draft from a Stratomatically one. But now we're getting fancy because we're in our friend's basement now. We're renting a part of a bar in Z2.
Yep.
And it was like, all right, now we're getting fancy.
Yeah, that's how you know you're stepping up.
Yeah, who's got the yeah, we're gonna live stream that shit. Damn right I am. I actually live streamed their championship game on Zoom, the World Series. I come this close almost every year. This year, I had to have a one playoff game to try to get into the playoffs. That's how close I was. But it's just a long story.
I call it. I used to do fantasy football. I still do fantasy football, but
I want to get back in fantasy football. I haven't played in a couple of years,
and I just call it's my yearly donation. And then,
it's fun.
Like I said, the live draft is the best part. Like because you always talking shit, having good
best
food.
For me. The last 4 or 5 years of my life, draft day. Besides doing Turnbuckle Throwbacks. There were 3 times I've had an amazing time when we got you into the crew at the convention.
Yeah.
The last strat draft and then just doing the gimmicks. And I was like, you know what? I was telling Steph today. I was like, I could draft every day, every week. I could draft.
Yeah.
I mean, live stream the Walmart thing. Oh yeah, we could do that because Jay has this thing, and he'll tell you what it is. It's just this camera. You run it by your phone.
That's amazing. Yeah, we got to try to. Well, we still got to try to figure.
We got to try to figure out for here, but yeah, we should live stream that shit. That'd be hysterical. But
get arrested.
100%. The Popo would not like us at all.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. I'm so excited, and with the league, it's only 12 teams. Everybody has like an all-star team.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's all dice. It's all the roll of the dice. If you roll good dice, you have a good team. Whatever. I don't know. I just want to win it once. Yeah. It's hard. It's a 53 game season. We play once a month. We play 6 games a month, but I can draft every week, dude. I got like 6 different fantasy magazines in my bag. I go to Walmart. I went to Barnes and Noble this year. I bought a prospect handbook. I'm scouting kids in high school right now, man. I'm not playing, bro. I'm gonna win this thing. I'm gonna win this thing eventually. I swear. But yeah, I love the game, man. I love it's very
well. Baseball's starting what?
Baseball starts next month, April 1st. Plus, it goes from now till December.
Yeah,
I'm going back to playing video games. We should guess, Mike. Hit me up, bro. I'll come on your show. We'll talk video games, retro stuff. Actually, I don't play anything current except for I played that NBA game with my son. But anytime you want to come on, bro, you hit me up. We'll come on your show. We'll definitely do a cross promoting dance. It'd be awesome.
The only thing about now is Minecraft and Roblox. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
I know
so
now.
Jay can be your Minecraft correspondent with Dylan. Him and Dylan can come on and be correspondents for that. I have been playing NBA 2K21, And I do have the Spider-Man game for the PS5, but I have not played it yet.
Yeah.
Because Michael only comes every couple of weeks, and I want to play with him. So we enjoy each other's time. And shout out to my son. He sends me a text today. We have a car and dice game it's a wrestling game. We've been playing it since he's 4 years old. Stats in the back, and you roll 2 dice, and there's a chart, and they're matches,
Mm-hmm.
and you go hold for hold. And we have like a bunch of we have the Young Bucks, we have Kenny Omega, we have guys from Evolve, guys from Combat Zone, we have Legends. There's a Galactic Wrestling thing in there. It's from Phil Stinger Games. He's been making his own cards with his computer.
Oh,
he made the Good Brothers. He just texted me. I'm like, dude, what are you photoshopping and stuff? I'm like, he goes, yeah. I'm so proud of him, man.
That's a good idea right there.
So I said, now you open Pandora, because he's like, I want to buy some more sets, because he has like all the cards. When I moved out, I didn't take all the cards with me. I have like a shoebox. He's got a whole. We've been buying cards since 2012.
Yeah,
so we have a ton of cards. But I told him I bought him 3 sets today, and I'm like, yeah, but if I buy you these sets, you got to make me cards now.
I was just gonna say,
you got to make me. I want Bullet Club. I want Chaos. I want LIJ. Yes, I know. And I told them, I said, we're going to play them on the show, and we're going to have a tournament. I mean, we had so much fun doing this NCAA tag team draft.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into the second round of the brackets before we go to the break tonight, because we have a ton to talk about. If you hear the rant was on last night, and I want to give a shout out to Tony C. He had a family emergency. Just keep Tony C in your went on with his family, so please keep him in your prayers. Fallon says, "Hi, Luscious, miss you." She's not calling me Luscious, she's calling you Luscious. I don't have any hair.
The hair is back in full effect.
Yeah,
I even got a hair tie now. Taves likes it when it's she gives me the samurai. I call it the top knot.
Oh, the Samurai Jack, Samurai J will call you. So now it's like, so shout out to Tony C. I called into the rant last night, and they wanted my opinion about certain things. I want to save it for tomorrow. But I did get into some shit because a lot of shit went down this week.
Yeah.
So I got a text Wednesday night. I'm on the way home. I'm on the way home from work. I don't have cable at all in my house anymore, and I had an internet package TV. I had some Hulu stuff going on, but now I don't have any of that stuff. So I get everything on a download, or I bootleg it. So I'm bootlegging AEW on the way home Wednesday night, and I'm getting texts. Fucking, and then found like, did you watch NXT? I'm like, no. She's like, she wants to talk about it, and she can't. Like, go on a group page. I can't open Facebook, because if I open Facebook, they're gonna ruin it for me. And they did, not on purpose, but they fucking ruined it for me. So there was a ton of stuff. So I said, I'll catch up. I did catch up. Finally, I watched the rest of AEW when I got home, and then I watched NXT this morning. Because of course my body wakes up and wants to go to work when I don't have to be at work now. That's like the old man thing now, It's like,
yeah,
I hate that shit, man. I'm like, I get up at 5 a.m. every day to go to work, and it's like now I'm getting up like when I'm not working. You did no, not you. You kept your mouth shut. You're right, and I told you to keep your fucking mouth shut, because I was like, please. I said, I can't, and it's like it's not just her. It's everybody's. Like there's 3 or 4 people that just want to keep me in the loop, and I appreciate everybody's. And I'll never not message you back. I just. I still want to be surprised at my age.
Yeah.
Not where I have a heart attack surprised, but, I just want to be surprised with it, like that kind of gimmick. You know what I'm saying? So, fuck Mexican China. No, it's Puerto Rican China. She is Mexican. But Choppy, by the way, fucking Choppy. Let's play his gimmick.
Choppy's a pain in the ass.
And I kept calling her Puerto Rican China. She's from Mexico. But Choppy keeps, Choppy's a fucking racist.
Yeah.
So we all know that.
Choppy's a pain in the ass.
So either way, so there's a lot of shit that went down this week. And then on top of all that, I made the bad mistake, Jay, of listening to Jim Cornette this week.
Oh.
Jim, and I'll get into it in a couple seconds, but he took 3 hours on one of his podcasts, 3-hour podcast. We do 3-hour podcasts once a year.
Yeah.
He did a 3-hour podcast about Revolution. He broke it down match by fucking match. And I was happy and horrified at the same time. and I'll get into that in a few minutes.
Well, especially with his opinions.
You see, and I told this to my boy. I'm like, listen, opinions, and I told this to you guys too. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. Some of them stink.
I'm telling you, I love Cornette's. I don't listen to The Experience that much, but the drive-through.
That's what he did. Yeah.
Every now and then, I usually I'll listen to like 1 or 2 episodes, and I just think with that stuff with AEW. I don't know. I think I always say that the thing with Sammy Guevara that happened recently at Impact. I think that's a shoot.
Well, it wasn't if you watch AEW. It definitely wasn't a shoot. All right. So now here's the deal. We can go a lot of places. We can go Peacock. We can go WWE, NXT. We can go AEW. We could do the brackets right away.
Let's do the Peacock thing because this will be good because this will be a learning experience for me as well. I am a little vague on what's going to happen. So obviously they're switching over to Peacock. So now let's just break it down in layman's terms. Me as a network subscriber, what do I have to do?
You have to sign up for Peacock and do what I did. Sign up for Peacock and use the same login and password that you use for the network. Okay, because I share my password with my son and Fallon and her brother. And I think my godson did have it, but he has his own now. Logan's got his own now.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna the pay-per-view. The next pay-per-view is gonna be Fastlane, and then WrestleMania, NXT, all that is gonna start next month. By the middle of April, I think the network is gonna go black. So what you'll do is right before the pay-per-view, the next week, sign up for Peacock, pay for the premium. Wait until the goes dark, then shut that down. So you might have to keep both accounts open for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not happy with it, but apparently, girl Mel tells me I should watch that show, The Office. I've never seen it.
I love The Office.
It's every episode's on there.
Yeah, I had before they took it off of
and
Netflix.
Big Titty Punky Brewster's back.
Yeah. And Saved by the Bell too.
Punky Brewster's tits was so have a reduction. I love Punky Brewster's tits. Anyway, so that's what's gonna happen.
So now it's still $9.99 a month.
Yeah, same price. Same price. I don't like it, but I see, like I said a couple weeks ago, I see why they did it.
Oh, it's. I tell you, anything you want to say about WWE right now is they're doing everything correctly right now.
Sorry, Matt. We started a little early. Jay got here a little earlier than expected. We did play your intro.
Turnbuckle
times. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much. We love you. And again, shout out to Ron Singh for giving us Skinner too this week. Titty Punky Brewster. Anything that NBC has. I still got 3 unused WWE prepaid cards I haven't used. My girl got me for Christmas. Well, you're assed out, cuz.
Hold on to 5 years.
Yeah, just hold on to it. Listen, I see why they did it. Vince is getting like $1 billion out of it, apparently, or something like that from him. Fucking just whatever. As long as you just don't take away fucking old shit. Don't take away my pay-per-views, my Mid-South, my NWA, my Georgia.
That's what I.
Don't take away my WCW. Don't take away any of that shit.
But now it was. I think they're definitely going to start up in their game with the documentaries and the 24s. Like they're going to really up their game. They have so much footage that they don't even know what with. And like you said, even like the stuff like the next thing I want to watch is the Big E one.
It was great.
Yeah, the Big E one.
I saw it a couple of days ago.
And but I like me, you know me, I am not tech savvy at all, like remotely.
Yeah.
And so to me, like I wanted to know, so all you gotta do is just download the app and then I'll be good to go.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so that's the deal. So sign up for it next week before the next pay-per-view.
Yep.
And then I'm not giving the premium until Thursday.
Yep.
Pay it on Thursday. I have a free account right now. I'm gonna upgrade for the pay-per-view.
But then, like I said, so then I just cancel.
Don't cancel a network yet.
Yeah.
Wait till they move all the shit over first and then cancel it.
I got you.
Okay. Do it. So
but other than that, I think we should go with the big news from NXT.
Okay.
They're doing a 2-day event as well.
Stand and Deliver. Out without Edward James almost, apparently. And no Lou Diamond Phillips, SA. You know.
But that is. I think we are reaching, or what WWE wants is where it's Super Bowl week used to be the big thing, and now WrestleMania week is slowly turning into that. And
yeah,
you know, I remember years ago, which WrestleMania was it? Was it 16 that they did WrestleMania all day long on pay-per-view? It might have been WrestleMania 16. I'll have to get my facts straight, but I remember, and they did a lot of old school content. This was, 20 something years ago. And I remember that being awesome. So so now to move everything to now it's 4 days. At what point are we becoming WrestleMania overload or WrestleMania saturated?
We talked about WrestleMania last time on a rant, and Double A is bringing back. We're gonna have footage, not footage. I said we're gonna have programming for almost the entire week.
Okay, cool.
For Mania, including us. Usually, how we do it is we do either 2 shows, and then we do a show on WrestleMania Day with a throwback, which this year will probably be WrestleMania 91. So it's 8, right? Right. 8 was from Indianapolis, right? I'm sorry, as Jay stuffs his thoughts with donuts.
I'm pulling the choppy now.
He's pulling the choppy. He's eating on the air. It's fucking savage. But yeah, no. Yeah, but we haven't hammered out our end yet. But I promised him programming regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're hoping to have Choppy back that weekend. So hopefully it's gonna be fun. To answer your question, though, to come full circle to answering your question, yeah. It's a little overload. I could stick with the 1 day, right? Because what they can do is that's how the Super Bowl does it. Super Bowl coverage starts at like 9:00 in the morning. That does anything that's football related. ESPN, Fox, NBC, CBS, NFL Network, they all have pre-shows, documentaries, coverage, all. And the hardcore fan will get up at 9:00 in the morning as he's prepping his barbecue and he's prepping his party, and do that. They could do that with Mania.
They can.
Okay, you can have matches. You could have a 6-hour a WrestleMania, but take the first 3 hours and do a pre-show with it. Start it at like 2, 3 o'clock and have 2 or 3 matches, and then have your regular fucking card at 6, 7 o'clock at night and run it through. Do we need 2 nights? No, that's just them stretching it because of what's been going on. This might be probably the last year they're going to be doing the 2 days.
I was just gonna say, I think this could be, but now this spells, kind of like a little WrestleManias, because now we're the fat. Now is it? You always want to put the best matches forward, and you never want to put any filler on. The problem with 2 days is, I think, last year they did, given the circumstances, they did a really good job with WrestleMania last year, and I expect the same this year. But now, at what point is WrestleMania going to become like a 6-hour day? I'd love to go to WrestleMania, and like, do you have to go for 6-7 hours? Like,
when I went the last 2 Manias, the last Mania I went to, we sat there for like 5 hours, and it was cold. It was April. It was cold. I sat in the bleachers of Giant Stadium. Choppy was there that day. It was with Carlos, and they fucking froze the balls off. Matt and the Wizard guys, they left during the Cena match.
Yeah,
they went to the parking lot and they left.
Yeah,
it's a long day. So now we do the whole party thing when the world is better. And I think there's talks of a party this year for the first night. But like, that's another thing too. It's like I take off the day after, just because I'm just shot.
Yeah.
For the last 9 years, I've been doing podcasts, and I've been doing, when Mania was here, I went to NXT, I went to fucking Kaiju Big Battle, I went to a bunch of shit, and I watched Ring of Honor, and Kid Human's in the building, but like, and Kid Human was a part of WrestleMania weekend with me a few years ago. So, like, it's a long week. And if you're down there, wherever it is, like this, I mean, last year we had a whole week planned.
Yeah.
From Tuesday to Sunday. It was like everybody had matches going on, Yeah. Is it overload? Yeah. I think, but the experience now, I think, is cool. And Vince can't do nothing about it, and I'm glad.
Yep.
Let the work around Mania.
Yeah.
Let them bring their let New Japan come, let Game Changer, Joey Janela, let Ring of Honor, Evolve. Let all them dudes come in and do their thing, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's the fans' experience.
Yep.
And on top of that, you got WrestleCon. So in the podcasting and all this other shit now, there's so much. It's an experience. Don't get me wrong, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to go to LA.
Yeah.
To see WrestleMania. I think next year after, whatever.
I'd love to go to Vegas.
I've only been there for 16 hours.
Yeah.
And
but it's next year's LA, and then the year after that is Dallas again, or
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go to
When
Dallas
the
too.
fuck is it going to Vegas?
Well, it's going to happen soon because they got the new stadium.
That's what I mean. Come on, we got to go to Vegas.
Vegas is coming to. They got a hockey team now. They got a football team. They've been trying for baseball for 20 years. They have. I don't know what's going to happen, but speaking of Vegas, my sister Liz is visiting she moved out there about 5 years ago.
Oh, cool.
She came in to visit. I'll see her for my mom's birthday next week. But Liz came in from Vegas. But yeah, whatever goes on there. Our boy Maverick was there. My boy Dave was out there. A couple of my friends are out there now. They're so it's like it is what it is. Yeah, it's overload. But for us, it's a wet dream because we do this part of it, which is I think is the coolest part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, NXT's gonna be deliver. It's called 2 days.
Like I said, listen. NXT has more than enough talent to stretch, but I think this is where they're gonna stray from their known equation, where the formula that they have works. They have their normal 5 matches for the takeover, fucking a 5-star match.
Right
now, you're extending it to 2 nights. Do you have it as 5 matches a night? It's like I said. At what point is it too much? The whole idea that's like the WCW thing. The 8 when Thunder came around, it was starting to saturate the product. And granted,
AEW's been doing the same thing with all their products. Yeah,
and
it's a network. Want more product?
Yeah, and so I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be too much. It's going to take me about 7 days to to watch. 4 days worth of stuff, but it's WrestleMania season, so how do you not? You got to earmark a little time.
It'll be on Peacock, so you're gonna have to.
Yeah, gonna have to.
Broadcast journalist now, Mr. Cop.
I know.
You're gonna have to come correct. What's up, Augie? Augie came out to visit.
Yeah.
What's up, Aug? So it is what it is, man. I just I don't know. I get. I'm a loner just during the week, so for me, it's like. If I'm not doing anything, I come home. I come home from work. I do my thing. I veg out.
Do we see? What do we foresee happening now? NXT. So now, obviously, no NXT title is going to be on WrestleMania, which I'm not unhappy with. I like NXT to get their own.
He said
spotlight.
Cock. Yeah, Peacock. I'm sorry, guys.
The NXT get its own, its own spotlight. I didn't. At first I wasn't upset with, if you had like a great match like. So I think the match is going to be Karrion Kross against Finn Balor. I think this is the only way you go with this.
And Puerto Rican China is going to fight Shitlocker Shirai.
Yeah,
for the title. Pete Dunne's going to be involved, probably with Kyle O'Reilly, one of those guys.
Yeah,
I see the tag titles being defended. I see Gargano defending the North American title. Tony Storm with her big fat ass involved somehow. And now your new World Tag Team Champion, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon.
Yep.
They beat their first. Puerto Rican China from William Regal, and then the girls came out and challenged them.
Yep.
On winning the belts that night. But then again, they gave Gonzalez, the title shot, well, Shirai called her out. So, which is, and I like that too. I like when the champion takes their approach. And like you said, it's a very keep it simple, stupid kind of thing. Hey, Augie.
Hey, Augie.
He likes Uncle Jay.
Yeah.
Volta. Yeah, well, Imperium is definitely.
I agree with that.
Imperium is calling people out too, though.
If you have 2 nights, NXT UK has to be there.
Why not?
Why?
And if it travel allows,
you got more than enough time right now.
This guy's coming too. The cruiserweight, the Jordan Devlin.
Yep.
That kid is.
He's coming to the main.
I call him Finn Balor Square. That's my guy. I'm big. You can ask anybody. I've been big on him for years.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Theory. They got a lot of good, and they can keep it simple. If you break it down to 2 nights, they got 4 titles now, right? They got the Women's World, Women's Tag, 5 titles.
Yeah.
So now you can take those titles and split them up. Have a couple this night, couple that night. You round off the last night with Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. Sadly, his title reign to come to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kross was gonna get something, but he got hurt, so I think they just put him on, and it was meant to be,
Yeah.
Not that Finn Balor's going anywhere anytime soon.
Nah, he's staying in NXT.
Right, and rightfully so. What's he gonna? Wasn't Ciampa Coulter correct?
That
if that happens, that might and honestly, Gordon, if that happens, that's gonna steal the show.
That's gonna be a great way to go, and to introduce. Walter to, not he was there for the Survivor Series 2 years ago, but they didn't really shine a big light on him after that. This would be a great way.
He's a beast, man.
That match with Ilya Dragunov, still one of my favorite matches.
That was probably match of the year last year.
From last year. Still
that might be match of the year last year.
And,
it wasn't AJ Styles and Undertaker, I can tell you that.
No, but Ciampa against Walter would be epic.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Storm against match, I thought. Girls, they really went all out. Of course, like I said, Shirai retained, and she's gonna have a title match against Puerto Rican China. Mm-hmm. What else is going on? Pete Dunne beat Jake Atlas.
Yeah.
Just
poor Jake Atlas.
Yeah, you really
just getting a job tag on.
You know what the problem? Even their job guys can work, right? But then you throw these guys to the big top guys, and you're like, oh.
Well, Jake Atlas came in with a little steam, definitely.
Yeah,
from the
he did.
And,
he's not a bad worker.
Well, this is the problem with, wrestling now, where NWA had it right, where you're introduced.
They're back too. We'll preview them next week.
You're introduced talent, and you put them in there with an enhancement guy. You don't have to put them in with a name. So you're automatically painting Jake Atlas with this, he lost to, who did he lose? He lost to, oh my God, I can't think of his name. The Time Splitters. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Kushida.
Yeah, Kushida.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's all right. It's all right, dude. It's okay.
And,
have some more coffee.
And he, and same thing. And he, he was going to have a run with Legado, who's the cruiserweight champion? Oh my God, I'm drawing a complete blank. Yeah, I can't. Santos, Santos Escobar. Oof, drew a big blank. And but like I said, Jake Atlas all of a sudden is now just being relegated to jobber status, which hopefully there'll be something bigger in his. Definitely there's a little bright star in there. If you ask me, just needs to be shown a little bit, as it were. But yeah, like I said, to see Pete Dunne, we all know Turnbuckle Throwbacks, huge fans of the Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
And the Kings of NXT. So hopefully they have a prominent role in the Stand and Deliver, which they will.
Well, I know the Grizzled Young Vets called out the other two. What are you gonna give them massages? That's pretty cool. Those guys, I'm really big into them. Caden Carter against Zia Lee.
Yeah. The stuff with Casey Catanzaro. There's gonna be a little dissension there. I think she's actually legit hurt.
Yeah.
For the time being, but listen, there's a way to keep her on TV. For right now.
Yeah, and then of course the Grizzled Young Vets fighting Legado del Fantasma.
Yep.
Jordan Devlin announced his travel ban's been lifted, like I said,
wait.
And he's gonna now that's gonna be the real deal cruiserweight championship match. So Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin might steal that weekend.
Definitely for the night.
I mean, yeah. Could you don't do me a favor? Whoever's promoting, doing the booking for this, don't book the world title and this match. Let this match headline the first night.
Well, what if you have Ciampa against Walter?
That should be headlining it. That match is it's going to be great. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ciampa and Walter are going to kill it.
I'm so excited.
But that's going to be like a stiff, strong style, like Japan style match, right?
This is just going to be
high. This is going to be high intent. Jordan Devlin is like Finn Balor on crack.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He can go, dude, straight up. He can go straight up. Let's see what else is going on here. We had
you had the main event.
Main event was Finn Balor versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly with a Metallica shirt on.
Yeah.
My favorite Metallica album, Ride the Lightning.
I was just gonna say
my favorite Metallica song, Trapped Under Ice. Yeah.
Who would have thought? The Canadian Kyle
MSK
O'Reilly
does have a title shot. They do, Gordon. Correct. They won the Dusty Classic, so they'll probably get the title shot. The tag title shot at Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver.
I'm sorry. We were talking about Kyle O'Reilly after this. This match was really good.
This match was excellent.
Yeah, Adam Cole is losing grip. The crew is pretty much disbanded now at this point. I'm a little sad about that. I have to keep my merch down in the closet.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you leave it open for the future, but Adam Cole, he's great as the leader of the faction, but he doesn't need it.
No.
And the same could be said about O'Reilly. Bobby Fish, seems to be always just somehow or another just plagued with injury. I think all these years on the indies is just starting to catch up. But O'Reilly to me is a star. I see nothing but bright lights for him.
Yeah,
especially now in the future. Now, if you take him away with the UE banner, have him on his own, I think we're in store for something good.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just Kyle O'Reilly comes out very symbolic. He takes the UE elbow, the arm pad, arm band off of his arm and just attacks him.
Yep.
With his Metallica and his denim vest on, his Metallica shirt. It's like he was like a fucking it was like 86 and PS 68 Park with the Woodies all smoking dust, playing Metallica on their boom boxes. He looked like one of the Woodies without the long hair. Really good match, and they're doing it right, man.
Yeah.
See, like that's why when I was talking to the rant guys last night, I was like, this whole fucking ratings thing. I'm like, how can you base a rating system on it's constantly pre-recorded?
Yeah.
Like I know back in the day, the Monday Night Wars didn't really kick in until both shows were live.
Yeah.
Okay. Ruining each other's finishes.
Which honestly, wasn't until early '99.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you speak to. Like, I can't see. I know Nick and his cousin Ratings McGee. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I can't. That's why I can't emotionally invest in all. If you're gonna go up against another show at the same time, you see like the '80s where it's like sitcoms and TV dramas that are pre-recorded. This is like it's supposed to be like live shit. The live shit's always gonna win.
Yeah.
But
I think
don't know.
AEW as well is not that it's pre-recorded, but it's not exactly live either.
Most of it's live though.
So you see that and you just go, but it's everybody's just clamoring for a Wednesday night war, and like I said, I mean there was talks of if NBC would have gotten a contract for NHL, which they didn't get it, ESPN got
it, which it's going to be fucking weird too because they're going to do X amount of games. I'm off the rails now, but it's going to be X amount of games. And there's going to be like a thing where you can't watch certain regions. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm a Ranger fan, but I love all the West Coast teams.
Yeah.
I watch because I've been working the late that shift for a long time. And by the time I get home, all the late games kick in. Calgary, Edmonton, fucking Vancouver, now Vegas,
yep.
The Kings, the Sharks, the Avalanche, So now that they kick in, it's like, I don't want to get up, man.
Yeah.
So I might have to bootleg some kind of package or something. But yeah, ESPN had really good coverage back in the 90s, though, man.
Yes.
Not that glowing puck shit that fucking Fox tried. It was awful. So anyway, but yeah, you were saying
They but like I said, that to me, like to just want a Wednesday night war, I don't know. You can keep them separated. AEW is really starting to turn a corner, I think, with interest. They're right there with it, but NXT has been consistent for months now.
Yeah, they really don't steer away from their
and that's what I'm worried about with the 2-night event, is that it's going to be.
That's fair. That's fair, though.
You got to remember, AEW and WWE, NXT, what have you, is on two different playing levels. WWE is the Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? So like they're number one. You gotta respect what they gotta do. So they're trying to change the landscape, and it could be the most epic thing in the world, or it could be a big waste of money.
That's right, Kid Human. Gary Thorne was at the helm for a while, and then he went to the Baltimore Orioles, and I think he was there for almost 20 years now. I don't think he's there anymore. Then they had Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk and all those guys. They went to NBC. They went to Fox. It was like, ugh. Yeah, Gary Thorne was a good hockey announcer. Then they had Stan for a minute. Did the Devil games. They had a lot of good. They did do Sam Rosen too from MSG for the Rangers too. They were really good. What's his name? Fucking the one ESPN guy. He's well, Barry Melrose is always involved, but there was an ESPN. There's an ESPN analyst. There's a big hockey guy too. I forgot his name already. He's still around now. I forgot his name, but yeah, good. It's gonna be weird. I was listening to the local sports show. Getting ready to go to work the other day, and they were breaking down the contract. It's just cable's so weird now. It's it's just so fucking weird.
Well, they're focusing more on the streaming aspect,
right? But I mean, people don't want to spend $300 to fucking stream.
No.
Yeah, Steve Levy. That's it. Thank you, Scott. Steve Levy. So yeah, Steve something. Steve Levy. Yeah, you got. Thank you. So I saw Steve. I knew who it was. Anyway, AEW. Good show. Darby Allin, Scorpio Sky. I mean, obviously Sky wasn't going to win the title, but it would have been great if he did. My guy.
Well, like I said, especially to come hot off the ladder match, from Revolution, which I heard it would see it yet.
I downloaded it, so I mean, I guess I put on a thumb drive for you before you leave.
Yeah,
sitting on my desktop right
now.
On
the desktop. All right, then you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
But Scorpio Sky this year, without a doubt,
my man, dude.
Yeah,
that's my man.
Between him and Jungle Boy, it's hard to see who's going to be the breakout.
I'm big into him
Scorpio
too.
Sky's got to do it.
But I got to tell you, what happened on Wednesday night blew my fucking mind. Matt Jackson, Ray Phoenix stole the show.
Yeah,
really good show.
Opening match.
Ethan Page,
all ego, baby.
All ego against Lee Johnson, who's part of the Nightmare Camp, and now we know QT Marshall's gonna be turning soon.
Yeah, you can see it.
Whatever. Britt Baker, Ito, and Nyla Rose. Thunder Rosa, Ryo Mizunami, and Hikaru Shida.
Yeah,
that was all right. Cody fought some fucking forgot his name.
Yeah, but that's all about the Pentagon. Excited for
Cody. I like he just Cody. He goes. He tells the other guy, "Come here, translate this for me." And he fucking, and then he did it in English too, which got it. Shout out to Penta. Penta and Cody are gonna kill it.
I can't wait.
Kills it.
That's what. So like to see him, because first off, I love the Death Triangle or whatever the Death Triangle.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
anything with Pac, whatever the hell his name is, I'm all for. But to see Penta go off on his own right now to go against Cody, this is gonna be fucking awesome. I'm very excited for this. So, I actually really enjoyed that. And I have to admit, I enjoyed the Omega Christian stuff. To kind of really introduce Christian, in a big way.
Yeah.
Have him come out and, there's not much here to, he looked at the title. There's some good foreshadowing. I don't think he needs the belt. I don't want to see him with the belt. I wouldn't mind seeing Omega Christian match. If we could see what Christian has in the tank, I'd like to see a match or two beforehand to really surmise my opinion. But Christian Omega match is intriguing to me.
All right. So before we get into the inner circle, which stole the show, right?
Yes.
I want to just briefly talk about into the promo with Eddie Kingston, my man Eddie Kingston, one of my favorite wrestlers right now, and of course
your not so favorite wrestler right
Jonah Moxley, right? So that they're in this room, they're drinking. Eddie Kingston's being the thug, and he's like with this, that, and the third, whatever. They're talking shit about the match, and they're trying to cover up the ending that was the exploding ring death, match, right? And I made the absolute I liked the promo.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, right? I liked the promo, but I made a terrible mistake of prior to this listening to Jim Cornette for not 1, not 3 hours destroy All Elite Wrestling and this pay-per-view. So let me premise this, and I said, let me premise my rant by saying I don't have a personal thing with Jim Cornette at all. I am one of the biggest Jim Cornette. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a tag team mark from the jump. Cornette and his contribution to pro wrestling has been over for 40 years. For 40 years. He's done everything in the business. He was a photographer. He was a manager. He was an owner. He was a promoter. He was a booker. And he did every single thing in the business and legitimized himself as a guy who knows his shit. And he's a bona
fide.
If you go to any of his videos that he films in his home in Kentucky, is it Kentucky?
I think it's Kentucky,
right?
Louisville,
yeah. If you look at anything that remotely they film in his home, he has nostalgia personified. He's got booking ledgers from promote. He's got posters and books and ticket stuff. Like he's like legit.
Even
he can have a museum if he wanted to.
Even the idea of him when he was working, managing, he would write down everything. Like to have that foresight of going, I think this could be pertinent information at some day.
Right. And he basically put himself in a position and his age where now he has a platform with social media and podcasting
and a pretty big one
and a pretty huge following, right? So now he has this platform, 2 shows, and the guy who hosts it, real douchebag, by the way. This guy Brian, not a fan of him at all.
Brian Last.
Oh,
he's a New Yorker too.
He's from Long Island.
Yeah.
And he hosts a really cool podcast. But,
Booking the Territory.
Right,
yeah.
Oh no, 605, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right.
605 super.
Whatever. But he's a homer. He reminds me of Yankee broadcasters like and Michael Kay, where then they're very, very biased, or fucking Mike Francesa.
Yeah.
Just biased, like whatever. Like disagree with Jim on certain things, but then they'll have to explain himself and put himself over. Jim Cornette laughs at him, makes fun of him, then they move on, right? Okay. He took this card, right? And went in, as they say in the street. He went in 3 hours and he destroyed this pay-per-view. And I know him and Moxley have a beef. Him and Omega have a beef. He calls Omega fucking Harpo Marx.
He calls
Harpo finger fuck or something like that. He calls him.
He calls him Kenny Olivier.
He calls the Bucks the balding or pie face and else like, and it's just like kid shit, right? Listen, I understand the business has passed you by. Solution of how shows are produced. I understand that you're in a position where, again, you have this platform and, like we said, a huge following. But you're such a hypocrite because there was a time not You were the head booker of where this whole shit started, which was Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So who the fuck are you, of all people, and not for nothing? And I had this conversation with Mike Norenganger from the Midnight Jury. He's not a Bucks fan, and he's like, he doesn't like the whole flippy floppy fucking high spot, kick out, and he's done into that. Which there's a ton of people like that, right? And I said, here are two guys. And I'm taking this a little, not personally, but like I have a personal investment because of us and how I treated my son. These guys are self-made millionaires, and when I mean self-made, they worked the indies, they sold their gimmick without the backing machine.
Yeah.
Okay. Even Paul Heyman had help from the machine with ECW. Okay. The Bucks, before they went into this whole AEW thing, they were to get this started. Right?
They got endorsed by Hot Topic.
They are millionaires because of their T-shirts and their gimmick. Okay, they lived the gimmick and they banked off it. And God bless them. I can't knock it. Even if they were a bad tag team, which they're not.
Yeah,
I can get behind that. Right? And I respect Jim Cornette so much that he says with a grain of salt because and the way he delivers it, he's from the South. He has that way. You know what I'm talking about, right?
He's like I said, it's like we were saying about the Guevara thing. Like it's a work. You know, I think Cornette is playing a character. I think he realized. I think some of the opinions. I think it bleeds through. I think he
has to.
He shares it, but I think
has to.
I think he makes his living on being the contrarian. You know what I mean? And granted, he old school wrestling approach. Like he's definitely, without a doubt, a historian. But like you said, how can he be a vital part of ROH where this started, and then you know what I mean? Like you kind of created Frankenstein.
Yeah, and I love how he dogs all these people like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan, and you were a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, now these guys are millionaires.
I think, and I could have swore that I don't know if it was Matt or Nick, but one of them said that it's like with a wink, like Cornette's reached out to him,
but he's even gone in on Jericho, and it's like, and even Jericho responded Jericho took time out of his podcast to shoot on Jim Cornette. I'm like, you know what? You could be right. There could be a little bit.
Could be. I don't know.
You could just. But it's valid. It's a valid fucking statement because he could be he could be working everybody like Connie style. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I think.
Right. Okay. But you could be right. My thing is though, if you're not, you're a fucking hypocrite. So Moxley and Kingston did a terrible job of trying to cover up something. No, I didn't expect Cornette to like it. Right. But to rebut the statement, but Moxley and Kingston, they great promo, but they did a terrible job covering up the fucking. They blamed the whole thing on Kenny. It was he made the mistake. Whatever. The whole thing was the only thing I liked about that whole match was that Eddie Kingston was a fucking superstar.
Yeah,
he came out there legit, he was legitimately concerned for his friend. Ring was gonna blow up and everybody was gonna die, and he took, as they say, he took the L. That was funny for me. And even Jim Cornette actually said that. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Matt, would you feel like you contribute to a large part to build and maintain something you also feel you have a right to tear it down? I'm not saying he doesn't, but my thing is this. If you're part of the evolution of what the product is now, and you were, why would you put yourself in a position to dog it the way you do? Because why? Because people pay your fucking Patreon, and they buy you all your merch, and now they buy your cameos. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the other part of that. I mean, who said that? That was
Squires. Yeah,
he might be touching on something there.
Yeah,
because here's the thing. Let's just say hypothetically that he feels that he was a part of it. You haven't heard Nobody's ever said, "Hey, thank you, Jim Cornette, for booking it." Could it be sour grapes?
Sour grapes, but people, and he'll tell you all the time. They asked me to be a part of that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Like, so he puts himself in a position where it's like he plays the martyr, right? And if it's a work, hey, God bless, you're doing a fantastic job ribbing the whole, right?
Yeah.
But if you're being legit shooting and you're being a douche about it, like, come on, man. This is like Charles Barkley, right? I loved Charles Barkley as a player. Okay, Charles Barkley now with Shaq and Kenny the Jet and Ernie Johnson, one of the best shows ever, basketball wise, right? Hold on, I want to say hello to Mr. Roberto Domingo, who just came into the room. Doing flips and shit. Right? So Charles Barkley, and I've had this hatred for his commentary for years because he's gone on record to say that he won't watch certain teams because they're terrible. Right? You're a fucking analyst for the National Basketball Association. You're supposed to watch every team. Okay? You can't just watch. I won't watch the Knicks because the Knicks is terrible. I won't watch the Bulls because the Bulls is terrible. That's a terrible idea. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Dude, you're not being paid to not watch shit.
Yeah.
You know, Jim Cornette's being paid by Patreon and by his sponsors to be a douchebag.
That's exactly
and to shit on wrestling,
that's
right?
Exactly it.
So if Cornette booked the pay-per-view today, would it be crapped on just as much as he craps on the current product? That's the fans. The fans have made this interesting, man. It's a great question. That is a fantastic question. Okay? The fans have turned it into them putting themselves over. Okay? They'll pick something, they'll stick with it, and they'll run with it. Bottom line. Okay? The fans dictate that aspect of it. Okay? If Jim Cornette booked a pay-per-view, I would give almost any amount he would be charging, first of all, because he knows how to book a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to promote a pay-per-view, even if he did it today. But don't fucking blow smoke up my ass and tell me the chimney, okay? And don't bring me these conges, okay? If you're gonna book it, you're gonna take the top crop of the talent that's out in the world right now, cherry pick them from the indies, cherry pick them from any way you want to pick them, and give me a good product. If you're so good at what you fucking do, if you could turn chicken shit into chicken salad, as we say here on the Turnbuckle Throwbacks, then prove me wrong. Okay, but then there's a problem with that. Okay, because then you're expected to do it all the time. And that's why Jim Cornette won't work for any more companies, because once Jim Cornette feels that he can't get a grip on what he has, that's why Ring of Honor he couldn't stay with, Impact he didn't stay with, he didn't stay with fucking OVW, because once he realized he couldn't get what he wanted, it's bad all of a sudden. It's bad. All of it's bad.
Sour grapes. That's what
it's bad.
To me, that's what, excuse me, that's one of the first things I think of is it. Once again, I think his true opinion does come out because, like, he does have like a weird, I want to say irrational hatred for like Kevin Owens and
guys who've entertained, who are not bad. If they were bad in the ring and he shits on them, have at it.
Like he shits on Tim Horner all the time, but meanwhile, 25 years ago, he was pushing Tim Horner.
Yeah.
So, so like you can't, once again, I think, he's a victim of his own web that he starts because I think that's his gimmick is that he's the people are there to hear him shit on AEW.
Okay. And then he'll tell you, I didn't say that. I fast forward. I was playing with my dog Harley. I fast forwarded this. And I'm like, you can't break down a pay-per-view and then tell me you fast forwarded it unless you're doing commercials, right?
But I mean, I won't. It's funny because I do want to hear Cornette's take on it.
I did too.
I haven't watched it yet, but what is your opinion of the dud?
The dud was a dud.
Yeah.
It was a dud. And if you're a fan of the deathmatch shit, and I've said this too, if you're a fan of the deathmatch stuff, that stuff went on all the time.
It went I'm thinking of Terry Funk against Cactus Jack. Was it against maybe Terry Funk against Onita?
Onita, yeah.
There was a dud in one of those. Like Funk gets up and looks and goes, that's what we got here.
There was a match I have it's a floating ring in an Olympic-sized pool in Japan. It's Mike Awesome, the Gladiator. It's Ganosei. I think it's Mr. Pogo, Leatherfits, a whole bunch. It's like a 6-man fucking tag. Watching SmackDown. What is this whole night? I have no idea. AEW, you learned you can't get your death match set up from Wish. You can't. You can't. And again, here's the thing, right? So the match was a dud. Okay, the guys who are in the ring though can work.
Yeah.
There was a couple of bad spots where they waited for the Good Brothers and the whole ambulance thing with Shaq too. Like they, not Shaq, although somebody waited for somebody. Someone had a camera on the ambulance outside, and then they had Tony Khan was like, "Oh, the wrestlers are okay. They're on their way to the hospital. They weren't even in the ambulance."
Yeah.
Right. So there was so many things that that didn't coincide with what was going on, and you know why? Because you got a money mark billionaire booking these shows, and he wants to give the fans the best thing he can give them, and it's trial and error. Okay,
Yeah,
it's trial and error, and I wasn't excited about a death match in the United States until I saw Atsushi Onita fucking plug it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, now, because I when I was in high school and in my early 20s, I fucking popped for that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is the shit right here, man. This is like, and this has nothing to do with Moxley. Me not like a Moxley, because this is Mox's thing.
Yeah.
He's a death match hardcore wrestler. He's the cool guy. He does all this shit. He's the cool. He's the Death Rider. Ooh, yeah, But then he's fighting one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give a fuck what Jim Cornette says. 3 or 4 years ago, Kenny Omega was the greatest wrestler on the planet.
Yeah.
Who came to the States twice a year for Ring of Honor to hang out with Bullet Club. He didn't have to fucking wrestle in the States. He put on matches with everybody. Jericho, Okada, Tanahashi, fucking Ibushi. Everybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. He put on 5-star matches. He was the shit. He came here. He wanted a management role, and he took a step back, and he's still the same guy, but he evolved as a performer, because now he wants to be in different lights.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't have to wrestle for 45 minutes a night anymore. He doesn't have to put on 5-star matches anymore. I mean, I want him to, because I'm selfish, and I love everything that is Japan when it comes to professional wrestling. But I see where they gave him an executive producer spot, and Jim Cornette even shit on that. Like every time you worked somewhere, Jim, the inmates ran the fucking asylum anyway, and you dogged Russo too. And listen, he had a right to dog Russo. He hated Russo. He hated Eric Bischoff. He hated some of the guys that worked for Vince. But you didn't stay long enough to put your footprint in there, man. Then you had Smoky Mountain, and that was your baby.
Which I love, Smoky Mountain.
And it was good. It was territory booked wrestling, weekly television. It was good. But you're a fucking hypocrite, man, because you can't be a part of this and then tear it down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit on your throne in Kentucky and expect everybody to drink your Kool-Aid, dog, because it's not when you're part of it, like he was part of it. If he was sitting home for 25 years, like Harley Race was, and when they brought Bruno back, Bruno said, I haven't watched wrestling since 1997. And you know what? I believe him.
Yeah.
Because Bruno Sammartino didn't have to. There was nothing in it for him. Okay. But when Jim Cornette does it, and he's been involved, it's kind of like, whether it's a work or not, Jay. It's for me. It's
like I said,
it's still shaky ground for me.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see what he said about it. But to me, with that whole, I remember like we were saying before, I remember a Funk Onita match where the big explosion was supposed to come, and then it was just a little fucking firecracker, and then even Funk just ribbing on it
right
in the ring, just
right.
knowing. I'm kind of glad that Moxley said something that night, like now like it happened. Steer into the skid. That's it. That's the only thing you could do.
Yeah,
at this point.
it was badly performed. It was badly what do you call it? It was also badly finished because they didn't do it right. And you know what? Stuff like that. It's live television, and stuff like that happens in Hollywood. It happens in sports. It happens in everything. You can't. This is live.
It makes it worth watching because you never know what's going to happen live.
Must see TV. Yeah, people are now seeing the money mark as a two-sided sword. Correct. And you know what? It's trial and error.
Listen, I think Tony Khan and everybody at AEW, they have fucking brass balls because they are really trying to put their best foot forward, and they're signing, Paul White, Christian, the stuff that's going on, the Good Brothers working with Impact, working with New Japan. They're legitimately trying to put the best product that they can forward. And we're very constructive with the criticism with AEW, but all in all, a year and a half in, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's supposed to be the alternative. I know we always go back and forth with it. Is it the alternative? They're kind of going with it. The stuff at the end of Dynamite was a huge hook for
Their
me.
death match was the Punjabi cage match.
Punjabi.
Correct.
Person, yeah.
So, and that's a great point. That's a very, very great point, Jay. And you know what? And I've told you this. I've told everybody this. My glass will always be half full.
Yeah.
When it comes to professional wrestling, okay, because I've emotionally invested enough time in my life to this, where I'm thoroughly entertained all the time. Even if I get one good match out of a 2-hour show, one good spot, one good promo, anything, the fans are not appreciative. These young fans, they want this sense of entitlement. And I sound like the old man, get off my fucking lawn, and I know I do. But you know what? At the end of the day, from 1983 to now, I've seen almost 4 different eras of professional wrestling. And I've picked out amazing stuff in every single era because there's even my dad always said this, even the sun shines on a dog's ass some days.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Tony Khan fucked it up. They fucked up they fucked up the death match. They still put out they ended this episode so good. Okay. The swerve, the MJF swerve after the War Council. Sammy Guevara comes back. He plays the video. Listen, Chris, you have to watch this video. Please watch this video. The video is MJF rounding the troops to turn on Jericho that night. Right? All of a sudden, they go to do it, and they all turn their back to MJF.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And all of a sudden, and you think that's done. You think he's going to get his ass kicked.
That was...
The lights go, the ECW lights, I call it ECW lights. ECW lights go out. And guess what? MJF had them all fooled the entire time. He had his own little fucking stable of Wardlow, FTR, Sean Spears, Tully Blanchard. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And they left the Inner Circle for dead. It's hard watching wrestling in an instant gratification ADHD society. You know what, Matt? As a 46-year-old male, it's hard watching life in an instant gratification ADHD society.
Yes.
This cancel culture. They're taking away stuff that, inappropriate but funny for 50, 60, 70 years, and now it's not funny. I will take politics out of sports, and I will take the instant gratification out of the wrestling, and I will try to enjoy it because I love them. I love it so much. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But MJF swerved everybody and left the Inner Circle for half dead. And Sammy, I told you, it was not a work. It was not a shoot. It was a work. He came back.
Yep.
And now you have another faction, and factions make the world go round.
Yes.
Watch New Japan. Shit happens is how I see it. I'm a wrestling mark. It was a good show. Not the best, but it was. Right. When's the last time any of you listening right now or about to listen on a download in a couple hours, right? How many of you had walked away from a pay-per-view in the last 10 years and said every match was fucking terrible?
Mm-hmm.
None of you. And if you do, you're a fibber. Okay? Even at the worst pay-per-views, I picked out one good match, one good promo, one good segment, because that's what professional wrestling is. It's this evolution of what was.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, the promos aren't that good from everybody, right? And yeah, they do try to incorporate some real life shit in there, right? And sometimes it doesn't work. And yeah, a lot of guys can work their ass off, but they can't talk. Hell, some of them can't even speak English, right? Penta, you can work your ass off. You're one of the best workers in the world. I seen you and Omega tear down Chicago a couple of years ago in person. God damn it. You headlined the fucking pay-per-view. It was amazing. Okay. But I cannot tolerate, and that's why I don't get into it anymore on social media.
You can't. You really can't do it.
I'll let you guys do your thing. You speak your piece. You post whatever you got to post on the page, and you guys have at it, because it's what you guys should be doing. You should be healthy debating. These things. Even December to Dismember had a good match. Yes. Yes, Gordon. I even have that DVD right now in my fucking collection. Okay. I went to FYE and bought the DVD because we were on streaming shit at that point. Still, it was like 2006 or 7, right? I was living in Queens at the time. Still, I moved back to Queens at that point. But this thing, like, I was at the ECW reunion in 2005. At that time, it was the most expensive ticket I ever paid. It was $150. Okay. And I remember people tearing it apart. I'm like, you're out of your mind. I sat there, and it was a WWE produced ECW reunion show, and it was fantastic. But people still fucking found a way to shit on it. Did Heroes of Wrestling have a good match? You know what?
Yes, Tully
Blanchard, right?
Tully Blanchard against Stan Lane, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't a bad match.
And was that 10 years or 20? I'm talking about in the last 10 years. Heroes Wrestling wasn't 10 years ago, was it?
That was 20, over 20.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm talking about the last decade. The 2000s to 2010 to 2020, or even 2000 to 2010. I don't get you guys. Some of you guys that can, like, this is shit. Everything's shit. Then why are you watching it? I remember Howard Stern. If you don't like my show, why are you listening to it?
Yeah.
Why are you calling me for and tell me how bad I am? I'm a bazillionaire. I'm a fucking bazillionaire.
Trillionaire.
Yeah, he owns air.
But like I said, it's everybody has an opinion, and that's the
which is fine, Jay. But not every single aspect of the game can be bad.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like, the whole football thing, and we've talked about this off air. Like, I'm convinced that Kaepernick took the knee for his own gain.
Mm-hmm.
He took an amazing stance symbolically, which I think anyway, and rightfully so. It should be done. It should have been done long before him, right? But I think he did it just to save his career.
Personal gain.
What's up there? My nephew Nick's in the room. What's up, Nick? Right? But I have family, police officers, retired police officers. They won't watch another game. They won't even pay. They don't pay tickets no more to go to. I can't watch this anymore. If I let these people dictate my love for sports, I'd be watching fucking shitty reality shows on TV.
Well, that's the problem, is that's what people are more likely doing, instead of, like, I don't know, reading a book or something. They're watching, shitty reality TV shows. And like I said, and this is coming from two wrestling fans that watch, essentially a male soap opera, for the last 30 years of our lives. And like I said, it's coming from an area of everybody's, It's all about I want this. It's all revolves around me. It's all take. There's no give. Like you got to give sometimes. You do have to suspend your disbelief, and you're supposed to be able to call a spade when you see it.
I've been saying this for years. How many times have you gone to a movie and the movie was bad? Or someone said to you, "Hey Jay, that movie's fucking terrible," and you came out of the theater going, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Everybody's taste is different.
Right. Okay. Which is fine. But every time I went to a concert or a movie or a wrestling match, I suspended anything that was real that day and invested my time emotionally into that act. No matter what genre of music, no matter what movie, no matter what genre of movie, no matter which league wrestling match, whatever it is. Okay. So
I agree.
We're in the middle of a fucking boom right now.
Yeah.
And the NWA is coming back. New Japan is killing it right now. All Japan's killing it. AEW is now gaining some momentum, even though
a lot of momentum.
Right. And NXT is steering the course as WWE evolves into another platform of entertainment in terms of streaming and content and
hoping to gain new eyes on the product for us fans.
Correct.
Essentially,
right for the fans who are ungrateful fucking little pricks that sit in their mom's basement and fucking pull their puds.
Yeah.
And say, I don't like this guy. You with the fucking cheese doodles all over yourself, you fucking prick what he is. Anyway, all right, we've been going almost an hour and a half.
Sounds about right.
No, it's not about. We don't do 45 minutes. We go to a break and we come back and before we do a throwback. Let's do a
quick update.
Quick update on the brackets. The next round.
This in on the brackets.
All right. So on the east side of the NCAA-ish brackets that we've had. The LOD beat the US Express. Okay.
No surprise.
East-West Connection beat the Dynamic Duo.
Definitely
handily. Rock and Roll Express beat Manny and Rick Rude. The Eliminators beat the New Age Outlaws.
That was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But the Eliminators are a huge, if especially with our fans.
Well, that's the thing. It's our fans. The Nasty Boys off not by much.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian destroyed the Killer Bees.
Not surprised by that either.
The Fantastics beat the Dream Team. I was a little surprised about that. Bad Company beat the Holy Army, which that really shouldn't happen, but you guys don't know much about the Holy Army apparently. And that wasn't my fault because the computer picked it. But the Holy Army is a really fucking good team. The Freebirds beat the Sheep Herders. The Texas Outlaws beat the Moondogs. The Natural Disasters beat the Rougeos. The Gorillas of Destiny actually tied with the Rockers. I was a tiebreaker. I picked the Gorillas of Destiny. Sorry. And then another 50-50 was the Good Brothers and the Blonde Bombers. I picked the Blonde Bombers. The Lucha Brothers beat Kobashi and Misawa, which was insane, like handily, by the way. The Steiners beat the New Day. And FTR beat Doom. So
I'm very happy to see FTR against the Steiners.
Me too. And that's so now we'll move on to the next bracket in the East, which is the what was that region I said? It was the Freebird region.
Freebird.
The Omni. So now you're gonna have East-West Connection versus Legion of Doom, Rock and Roll Express versus the Eliminators, the Nasty Boys versus Edge and Christian, the Fantastics versus Bad Company. Okay. The Freebirds versus the Texas Outlaws.
Yeah.
The Gorillas Destiny taking on the Natural Disasters, the Blonde Bombers against the Lucha Brothers, and Jay's favorite matches of this bracket, the Steiners taking on FTR.
Yep.
We move to the West bracket, and then the next round will be in Sportatorium, the Von Erich region. But the Philly region, the Dudleys beat the Headhunters. Harlem Heat beat the Minnesota Wrecking Crew by a lot.
Yeah, well, like to me, that's in a real match that probably wouldn't happen. But Harlem Heat, though, I think a very underrated team. They always often overlooked.
Yeah, the Young Bucks beat the Can-Am Express.
Yeah.
Money Inc. beat Nikita and Uncle Ivan. The Miracle Violence Connection drew with Strike Force. Not in real life.
Yeah.
Miracle Violence Connection is moving on. The Varsity Club got beat by the Funks handily. The Hollywood Blondes beat the Powers of Pain. The Fabulous Ones beat the Heavenly Bodies. This was the shock. Not because the Hart Foundation won, but they won handily over the Midnight Express. It was like 80-20 or 90-10 or something like that. Okay, so you guys are really into the Hart Foundation, apparently. Lawler and Dundee lost to Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. The Samoan High Flyers. Demolition beat the Von Erichs. Anderson and Blanchard handily beated the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark. And the other Briscoe brothers handily defeated RVD and Sabu. And then Hanson and Gordy defeated the Hardy Boys handily. And the British Bulldogs destroyed the Mega Powers in that ranking.
I don't think that's too much of a surprise either, because Powers, albeit they're an absolute name team, two of the probably most iconic wrestlers ever, but the British Bulldogs were forced to be reckoned with in the 80s.
But I mean, Jay, handily.
Yeah. Well, how many titles did the Mega Powers win?
Again, I agree. I voted for the Bulldogs, but
I voted for the Bulldogs too.
I'm just putting that out there. I just but I'm sorry, I was just playing with the gimmick over here. All right. So your next round, like I said, will be in the Von Erich region. Dudley Boys against Harlem Heat. The Young Bucks taking on Money Inc. The Miracle Violence Connection versus the Funk Brothers.
Oof. Be such a great match.
How about this? The Hollywood Blondes versus the Fabulous Ones.
I would love to see that match.
Right?
Too.
The Hart Foundation taking on Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat is going to be a shit show. The Wild Samoans against Demolition. Anderson and Blanchard against Jerry and Jack Briscoe.
This would have been an excellent match to see in the early 80s.
Yeah. And then Hanson and Gordy against the British Bulldogs.
Yep.
So we'll put those brackets up on Monday. You guys can vote for that, and we'll move on to the next region. Then we'll have the final weekend.
Excellent stuff.
Any other news? Anything you want to talk about before we go to the break? Anything did I go over? Did I
really quick? I know Andrade, more or less kind of asked for his release from WWE on Monday, which he's been out since 2020. I think his last showing was around halftime. Obviously, I think he's engaged to Charlotte. Yeah. So
Nick German posted that,
and listen, isn't the only game in town. He can go back to Mexico, but what does that mean for Charlotte Flair?
Well, that was the thing. The question Nick proposed was, where does he go? And apparently Roosh is already recruiting him to come back to LA to Los Ingobernables, which has all the gold right now in Ring of Honor, by the way.
Hell yeah.
They Dragon, I think it was Dragon Lee, I think his name is.
Dragon Lee, yeah.
Kenny King won the tag titles from Shane Taz. I'm sorry, from Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And Roosh retained against Shane Taylor. So Ingobernables has all the gold in Ring of Honor, I believe, except for the TV show, the tag team, the 6-man tag, still Shane Taylor's guys, but they have the main belts anyway.
But like I said, it's one of those things where clearly Andrade's definitely not being used to his potential, being overlooked. He's in that Rusev, I can't think of his name, role where you're not being used to your potential, and Andrade is a part of that. So we'll see what happens in the coming days, coming weeks. What does that mean for Charlotte Flair?
Nothing.
We've been saying it a while now. I don't know when her contract is up, but WWE is not going to let her go willingly.
First of all, it doesn't matter who you mess with behind the scenes. Your career right now has to come first. It's the creative has nothing for you.
Yeah.
Like the Dudleys. When the Dudleys got released and they came back, Vince is like, it's nothing personal. I just have nothing for you.
Yeah.
And it worked out for the Dudleys. They came back. They got
Big
the whole
time.
They got the whole They fucking, they mentored a couple of guys, whatever.
Devon's still with the company right now.
Yeah, Devon had, and they're running wrestling school. So when creative has nothing for you, like Jay said,
Yep.
And there's a plethora of places to go get talent somewhere else.
Take your talents down to Jacksonville.
Take your talents to the land of the rising sun. You can go to Europe. You can go to Ring of. Go to NWA. You can go to MLW.
Andrade's if he's not Mexico bound, you could definitely see him landing in ROH.
Yeah, 100%. We'll preview the pay-per-view next week for them. They got their anniversary show coming up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a Turnbuckle Throwbacks. It's Phil, it's Jay, it's Chat. You guys are fucking fantastic tonight, by the way. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah.
We're running long.
We're running long, bitches. I need a donut now. Jay brought donuts from what's that place called?
Country Donuts.
Country Donuts is a staple on Staten Island. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's plug our friends, and we're gonna come back. We have a cool throwback for you tonight. All right, Lord Alfred Hayes, take it away, buddy.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Everyone knows a lot of things can change in the span of 10 years. But when it comes to professional wrestling podcasting, one thing is still guaranteed. The Shining Wizards is the only place to get all the latest wrestling news, interviews with the greatest guests, and of course, tons of laughs in discussing the world of wrestling. The show is still available on Monday nights at 7 p.m. East on rantemradio.com and Rant Entertainment Media on the TuneIn app. And it's still available on all podcasting platforms. To check us out, head over to shiningwizards.com, where it's still wrestling talk and talk about wrestling.
Horns up, beautiful motherfuckers. Radioactive Metal is here on the Shining Wizards Network, and we want you to listen.
Every week, we cover the world of heavy metal and speak to your favorite bands.
We discuss new releases, concerts, controversies, and everything else that's related to heavy metal.
And occasionally, we even talk about pro wrestling.
Catch us live every Thursday night on purerockradio.net.
Listen to past episodes at radioactivemetal.org or at shiningwizardsnetwork.com.
And remember, it's not metal unless it's radioactive metal.
Are you tired of being told what to think and believe by Hollywood elites and politicians who just don't care about you?
Tired of not getting the truth when you watch the news?
Tired of trying to figure out what pronoun to use?
Tired of mob mentality when all you want to do is think for yourself and make up your own mind?
That's where we come in. This is Justin.
And Vince.
Your hosts of Inconclusive Breakdown.
We are a weekly anti-PC podcast bringing you entertainment and current event news without any spin.
If you want to truly stay informed on what's going on in the world, then give us a listen every Sunday, anywhere you get podcasts, at least till Zuckerberg and Twitter Jack deplatform us.
And as always, we're proud members of the Shining Wizards Network.
Tired of the PC police telling you what you can and cannot say? Want a show that travels back to the 80s and 90s where the badass hosts have beaten down cancel culture on 3 separate occasions and carried on to gloat about it? Since 2013, The Midnight Jury is that show. Travel back to the malls and arcades, pop in your VHS, and join us where the 80s and 90s return from the dead. Conan, tell them where to find us.
WLWstudios.com, home of the Midnight Jury podcast hosted by Midnight Mike and Calvin Brody.
Also available on all major podcast platforms via the Shining Wizards Network, and join in the conversation on Twitter at Midnight Jury.
This is Ed Zara listening to Phil, Jay, and that pain in the ass Choppy on the Turnbuckle Throwbacks. How you doing?
Hey, wrestling fans. Mr. Technical here, Barry Horowitz, and you're listening to the Turnbuckle Throwbacks with Phil, Jay, and that pain in the friggin' ass Choppy.
We're back. Samurai J.
By the way, I forgot to say it too. Like when we were talking about the throwback,
Yeah.
it's very under. The music in this show tonight was amazing.
I'm such a fucking mark for Japan. It's like I could actually, if we ever get this Patreon thing off the ground, that's probably all I might do for a while. I might just cover like Japan shit.
Japan stuff, yeah. 'Cause, dude, but to me, like I mean, I love the new product that they got. Like within like the last 5 to 7 years, has been really, really
Oh
good.
my goodness, yeah.
But man, there's nothing better than early 90s
Nothing.
New Japan.
Absolutely nothing, brother. Nothing. You're 100% right. That's why you're part of the show.
The crowd for this show was amazing.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. Let's get right into it then.
And now, here is your throwback of the week, sponsored by the Shining Wizards Network and Rant EM Radio.
Turnbuckle time.
Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time. Turnbuckle time.
That's as soon as that just started happening, I was just like, turnbuckle time.
Turnbuckle time. All right, ladies and gentlemen. March 21st, 1991. This actually aired in April of 91 from the Tokyo Egg Dome in Tokyo, Japan.
What a beautiful, beautiful arena.
Shaylin, I am so sorry you're sick, baby girl. I know Shaylin's really sick right now. And it's because it's what everybody else has been getting sick over. So I really hope you get better soon.
Yeah, feel better.
Just if you listen, you have 397 episodes to download to keep yourself going. Obviously, if you need anything, we're very close. So let us know if we can get you anything. We'll get you too. Okay, so don't worry about it. We got you. But anyway, 64,500 paid in 1991. 64,000.
By the way, Jim Ross never revealed that number for us.
Fuck him.
Fuck him on the recording.
This is the New Japan World Championship Wrestling Super Show 1 because they actually used one for a Super Brawl.
Yes.
So it's like I said, it was shown in April. The event was referred to as the Starcade in the Tokyo Dome. Yep. That's how New Japan advertised it. Several of the matches on the show were not included in the pay-per-view broadcast, held for the benefit of the crowd and attendance only.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah. The super shows were a small part of the WWE produced pay-per-views not included on demand or the WWE network that launched in 2014, which thank you, Daily Motion. I found that shit with the quickness.
Yep.
And Jay and I recovered quickly and caught up. I mean, I remembered most of it, but I forgot about the fucking dark matches.
Yes. The dark matches to me were I wish there has to be footage somewhere. I did a quick search. I couldn't find anything.
Well, I found some facts about the main event, by the way.
Cool.
Main event between Ric Flair and Tatsumi Fujinami was presented in a very different way in the States and in Japan.
Very much so.
During the show, it was announced that Ric Flair's NWA World Heavyweight title was on the line, but not the WCW title. In the U.S., those were considered the same championships.
Mm-hmm.
The pay-per-view announcers stated that the Fujinami's IWGP title was also on the line, though had no mention during the introduction. So the outcome of the match was also presented differently to the Japanese crowd. And we'll get into that in a few minutes. Okay. It was a title change ignored in the US. Fujinami was disqualified, throwing Ric Flair over the top rope. That was a Bill Watts thing.
Yep.
And then they had the rematch Super Bowl, which we'll do later on this year. Okay. So like Jay and I mentioned, there was a couple of dark matches. Your first dark match, which I wish I would have saw, was Animal Hamaguchi, Kimura, and Osamu. I'm sorry, it was Hamaguchi, Kimura, Kido, and Hoshinino against Super Strong Machine, Mr. Saito, Goto, not our Goto, the original, not that Goto.
Not Hiroki,
and Norio Hanaga, right? But your opening contest was a 6-man tag team match that was televised for us. It was Shiro Koshinaka, Kobayashi, which you all know from he gets better, and then Izuka against Tim Horner, Jim Cornette's favorite wrestler, Flying Brian Pillman, and the Z-Man Tom Zink, rest in peace. Brian Pillman, rest in peace.
Well, like I said, to me, it's one of these is not like the other. Like Tim fucking Horner is here.
See, that is the thing. Someone must have gotten hurt and couldn't tag or didn't make the trip, or whatever the case may be. But again, here's somebody who was really never utilized properly. Tim Horner was actually not a bad hand.
No, he's definitely actually a more than capable wrestler, but he had no fucking charisma.
No.
He had. I mean, listen, neither does Tom Zank, but Tom Zank's been in the business at this point for a while. You know, it's like you said, somebody got hurt, or they were just like, oh shit, man, we need somebody else here. So there's all right, get Horner on the flight.
Yeah, bitches.
But right away, instantly, crowd just going ape shit for Pillman. And Pillman doing it instantly kicks out one of the guys to the floor. Takes him about 8 seconds to get to the top rope, and he just jumps off, huge plancha to the floor, and it's the almost the evolution of how like the business is now, where like Jim Ross and all these guys complaining about people jumping in and just waiting there to be caught. This was the infancy of that.
Yeah, and when Jay means ape shit, the crowds weren't as obnoxious as US fans are. They're polite and proper, but they'll cheer.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
they'll cheer
Japan
for the
standards.
Yeah, they'll cheer for their best guys and girls, and they'll make you know that they're there.
They come alive later.
It's such a different atmosphere, and I'm sure Rob and Elaine and everybody else and Muzz and all the cats that have been over there can attest to that as well. Your next match was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Like I said, and as soon as they announced the championship, the crowd cheers instantly because they know who's coming out. And as Tony Schiavone said in the opening dialogue of the show, Jushin, not Jushin, Jushin Thunder Liger, who is just a beast.
They just put out a second figure of him with new gear. If $120 was just, if I had to burn $120 instead of buying a fucking entertainment center like a grown up, I would take that same money and buy that fucking action figure that I saw.
Oh hell yeah!
Liger, almost 10 years now in the business at this point. I think he debuted in '84. Is basically cementing himself as the gold standard of the junior heavyweight of the world, actually, and that's including Mexico and the United States. Of course, the junior heavyweights were more prominent overseas than they were at this point. I mean, the cruiserweights didn't get any love until like the late '90s in both WCW and WWE, whatever. But choosing none against Akira Nogami, who's no slouch his own self. Nogami was
excellent. First off, excellent entrance.
Oh yes,
by both.
Yeah,
Liger's entrance is always just magical, but Nogami, like you said, no slouch in his own right.
No. Ogami was a multi-champion in All Japan, New Japan, Smash. She was in a bunch of places.
I love the story that Ross and Shivani was telling with about Nogami, how he took a year personal journey away from wrestling because he lost to Liger a year prior, and then 10 seconds later, as he says that, fucking. He lost the match, but I love this match. What's weird about the footage that we've seen, I believe it's from the original tape from the 90s. Excuse me. It's weird cuts in it, weird edits, and this match seemed like it was so much longer, and it was only 5 minutes. Like it seemed like it was edited down
This match?
Yeah.
This match was 16 minutes long.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't see it for 16 minutes.
We didn't see it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it was down, you know, it was like I had to be under 6 minutes that this entire match. But like you said, seeing it, I heard it was longer. Like you said, 16 minutes. But you could tell that because the crowd was into it, and then was out of it. But Liger is just a fucking beast. He powerbombed Nagami at one point, and I don't know, maybe Nagami didn't, was supposed to go for a pin or whatever the case was, and then he just didn't like it. So Liger just picked him up again and just fucking sit out powerbombed his ass.
Yep.
And God, it was so good. And then the finish, that top rope DDT on Nagami was just fucking diesel.
Yeah, and Liger's such a. I mean, I love Liger so much, man. He was everything. He was a complete package. He was a character. He was an amazing performer. Dude had his own cartoon over there. Like his theme music was awesome. It was a good match though. I mean, they cut it 15 minutes. They cut 15 minutes out of it, but
Yep.
So your next match, Jay?
The Masahiro Chono and Masa Saito against Barry Windham and Arn Anderson. Now, they did a really good job, Shivani and Jim Ross, just saying on how, Windham and Anderson are, mostly focusing on a singles career, but are teaming for this match. When Chono and Saito come out, the crowd becomes fucking unhinged.
Yes.
Chono is 25, 26, 27 at this point.
He's just starting to get big.
And he's just loved by the crowd. And,
oh yeah.
And Saito, same thing. Saito's just God, at this point he was still around. I still see him as that the outtakes from AWA when he's trying to break the board with his head. I still love that.
Everybody, I don't know if you know this, but everybody forgets that Masa Saito was the bridge that brought the Gaijin over.
Yeah.
And he was the guy who helped promote these guys back and forth for years. And he got Scott Norton over there, and he got Great Muta over to the States back in the day with Florida Championship Wrestling when he was called the Ninja. A racist fucking name. But Masa Saito was very instrumental in bringing all the Gaijin over to Japan, so he was beloved. And then of course in the States, former tag team champion with Master Fuji,
Yes.
under the tutelage of Captain Louis Albano, the Guiding Light manager of 16 world tag team champions. Just an FYI. But yeah, nothing but fun with this match.
Yeah, I love this match. And what was great about this too is, the Gaijin working with, the Japanese stars, and you could see spots being called with Saito, because Saito has loose English language, he can understand it, and Wyndham and Anderson calling spots to him. But with Chono, and you could just see that it's just like muscle memory. Like they're looking at each other, and you see it more with the tag match later on. But I love this match. I was really a big fan of this match. The ending, I didn't like so much. But when I get there, we'll talk on it. But I love this one moment where Chono, they're healing on Chono a little bit, and Saito gets the tag, and you think it's going to be this hot tag moment, and Arn Anderson just fucking kicks Saito in the stomach, and the crowd just fucking deflates a little bit.
Yeah.
But Saito's almost like hulking up a little bit, like
right.
And instantly you could see almost like they're using a remote control to control the crowd.
Yeah.
Which is amazing stuff. And this is, once again, you suspend disbelief. This is how pro wrestling is supposed to be done. You control the crowd. The crowd doesn't control you.
Correct.
You could see it here. But I love the match. The ending, so they did a lot of foreshadowing with this match, with the lariat and all this stuff. You've seen it. Liger threw a huge fucking lariat in his match. So clearly everything is played to that, and Wyndham just I mean, it looked great. The camera view was a little bit far away, but it's not like a lariat. It was almost like it was just like a stiff clothesline. It did look like it took Saito. I wish it, but I understand beating Saito, but Chono at this point needs to, he can't lose too much, but Saito's another one. You should have seen it go the other way. The heels could have lost on this one.
So I'm gonna probably disappoint you a little bit when I tell you this, but the more, and I know you're just getting refamiliar with the strong style in the Kings Road. What you're gonna notice is, and this is my pet peeve, and I've said this on the podcast for years, that most of the Japanese matches back then that involved the gaijin or foreign wrestlers, the finishes weren't as good for a plethora of reasons.
Yeah.
The guys didn't work good together. Maybe they didn't get along, or they just did communication because, again, a lot of these guys don't speak English, and a lot of these guys don't speak Japanese.
Yes.
So there's a lot of, right now it's better. Now it's better because the guys actually live there now. Like guys like, Will Ospreay and fucking Finn Juice and the Gorillas, they all speak Japanese, Fale, they all know Japanese now. So it's like, Kenny Omega is fluent in Japanese, he's actually a dual citizen,
Yeah.
So like it's different back then. No, it was very hard.
Yeah, you could
very
see it.
very hard.
You could see it
very hard. What's up, Big Tone? Checking in from the West Coast. Unless you're lying, because last week you were on the East Coast, or you were down south.
That's right.
But anyway, yeah. So it happens a lot.
Yeah, like I said, to me, and like you said, and a lot of these endings. That's what I mean about like that Liga match, was that it just seemed like that the finish happened out of nowhere, like the way that it was edited. And all these cuts or whatever, like it's just weird. This match didn't seem like it was like that. But still, like a lot of the finishes kind of came out of nowhere. Like that finish came out of nowhere to me. It just the ref wasn't looking. And then he just did it, and he got the pin on Saito. So, to me, I enjoyed this match. I enjoyed it for what it was. This next match, on the other hand, I did not enjoy.
The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner, taking on the IWGP.
Oh, no, I was about to say Big Cat.
Big Cat and Elegante.
Yes,
versus the Roughneck Mr. U. The Roughneck Mr. U taking on Elegante and my match. Lineup
they
what
you would call it? The crowd was into El Gigante.
Yeah, because he's an attraction. Like they love that. Like Baba, Andre, Big Show. They like all the big guys. It's a deal over there. Godzilla.
Yeah, he picked up Mr. Hughes in decisive factor.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And at one point he was going for a suplex, and like he was just super stalling. Like, because it seemed like he was amazed about the crowd reaction. Like the crowd was into it for what it was. El Gigante is 7'7", and Big Cat he's every bit of 6'5", 6'4",
350 pounds.
El Gigante is going for this. He throws Big Cat off the ropes, and he goes for this drop kick. It is the worst drop kick I've ever seen thrown in my life. It looked like he was trying to fucking circumcise him with his foot. That's as far up as he got. He kicked him. It was this big, harrowing drop kick to his stomach. It was unbelievable. It's like, why would you even attempt to do a drop kick? Like, like when Big Show did it years later, it made sense because, you could see, Big Show was actually an athlete. But, Giant Gonzalez trying it, not the same aspect.
Yeah, I tried to pull a Cornette and fast forward this, but for the sake of the podcast, I did not. So yeah, this went 2 minutes, 16 minutes. That we're not getting back.
Yep.
They couldn't edit this shit. It was terrible.
Yeah, exactly. You had to take away from a Jushin Thunder Liger match
Bullshit.
and show me an El Gigante match. Give me a fucking break.
True that.
But this next match more than made up for it.
Yes.
The Steiner brothers against Hiroshi Hase and Kensuke Sasaki. I'm not good with my Japanese.
Yeah, so it's Hase and Sasaki. Sasaki, former U.S. champion, former NWA champion. Hase, former multiple-time tag team champion.
Yep.
They were the champs, defending against the Steiners. When I was a kid, seeing a title change like that was a big deal for me because, you all right over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Just getting comfortable.
Was the big deal for me because anytime you a title match that was out of the ordinary occurred and you saw it, it was like whether you're at a house show, on a pay-per-view, but they were always in the aftermags.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the Steiners won the IWGP Tag Team Championship, like the Dudleys or the Road Warriors. I'm like, what the fuck, man? How dope would it have been to see that? You know? And you saw it, and it was cool. You know, if you know now what you know about Sasaki and Hase, they're no slouches. They were at that point running the division.
Yep.
And Sasaki had a couple of runs with champion. Him and Tenzan were champs, and Sasaki, him and Road Warrior.
Yeah.
They weren't him and Road Warrior.
Power Warrior.
They weren't champions, I don't think, but they were tagging. So he's like a tag team legend in over there. So this was a big deal. This was cementing the Steiners as probably the best team in the world at this point.
But this is also the part of the Steiner brothers where they were just massively over. Everything they did.
They were the team. So and I like that that New Japan acknowledged how over the Steiners were.
Yeah.
Because they don't just give fucking titles to anybody that's not Japanese. That you know, there's a reason why there's only been a handful of world champions that are gaijin.
Yeah.
Because of that reason. It happens now a little more frequently because of the times, but like back in the day, you had to be a special sort of person to not only go there, hang with them in their styles,
and then but also
be a champ, represent, right? Because now you're the face of the company. You're doing the tours and you're doing the fucking matches, and you're just like, you're them. You're part of that culture, and you have to still keep your day job.
Yeah.
As WCW superstars, you know what I'm saying?
One of the best parts of this match, and you could just see, Steiner brothers are just on a whole other level. I think, I think Sasaki is a amateur wrestler as well, but you could see. I think it was with Hase. Hase is the one with the mustache,
correct?
Whatever that weird looking mustache that he has.
I call it the Kung Fu stash.
He starts off with Scott Steiner in the ring. Within the first 2 minutes, Steiner they collar elbow tie up, and Steiner just shoots in and literally suplexes Hase out of his fucking boots. And it's a shoot fucking suplex. You could just see he just with ease got him up, threw him back. And to me, I find it. Listen, I love Big Papa Pump. I love his promos. He really came into his own as a singles. But in 1990, 1991, early 92, there's not much better in this world than a babyface Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
He was.
You said it yourself, dude. They were over. They were super over. At that point, there was no argument. They were probably the best team in the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, definitely, without a doubt, they were the best team in the world. And like I said, at some point, you could just see even the crowd was just in it. But they were also cheering on Sasaki and Hase. They were trying to. But they were cheering both because they were exploding for a lot of the Steiner moves, but they were trying to keep Hase into it. But man, I love this match. What a fucking match this was. At one point, Scott Steiner goes up, puts up Hase up, and he does a middle rope angle slam, and then Steiner gets up and he always did that thing where he would flap his arms. It was almost like he was impressed by his own moves sometimes. Like he was just, I can't believe I just did this.
Yeah, put himself over. Yeah.
And one point he's yelling to the crowd. That's the other thing too about I always, even with Japanese commentary, I could watch it with no commentary, Japanese commentary. I'm always a big fan of how it is because it's quiet there and you can hear at one point Scott Steiner's just yelling, he ain't fucking getting up from this one. He's just fucking cursing at him.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it, man.
Because technically they're the heels.
Yeah.
Anybody who's not a Japanese wrestler was the heel.
Was the heel.
They're the anti-hero, man. You're coming into my house, 65,000 plus.
Yep.
I'm the champion. You're gonna and you know what? It's almost disrespectful because Japanese wrestlers, they talk shit to each other, but it's different now, but back then it was it's a different time, it's that shit didn't fly. These guys come over there, it's just they take liberties.
Yeah.
Because they can, and you're right, it was very weird to see that and hear that.
Yeah,
whatever.
it is.
Yeah.
But I like I said, even Hase and Sasaki, they do this move where Hase is on the top rope and Sasaki superplexes him off the top rope onto Rick Steiner, in the ring. It was just this was a great tag match. The only thing I was missing from this was a Scott Steiner, Steiner screwdriver. To me, was the only thing that was missing.
So when we get a Steiner line, I'm fine.
Yeah, it was. They were there, and then it ends with the Frankensteiner. The crowd, really kind of ate it up towards the end. They did this great, trophy presentation.
Yeah, they always do that though. So absolutely,
I loved it. I love that match of the night.
Yeah.
Match of the night.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Now there was 2 matches that weren't not televised.
I know.
And Jay and I'm so glad that Jay mentioned it because I was so mad at when I was reviewing this again. So one match in particular, apparently it went almost 15 minutes too, which I would have loved to see. You talk about tag matches.
Yeah.
Doom, Ron Simmons and Butchery was still a thing at this point before they broke up. And they fought the team of Big Van Vader and Crusher Bam Bam Bigelow. That was Bam Bam Bigelow's name in Japan. He was making a name for himself. And he started going over there right before 1988. And then he did a couple of tours, and then he became really successful, and he was going there regularly. Japanese loved the big men.
Yeah.
Him and Vader were champions too at one point.
And this is smoking, shoulder pad, helmet, Mastodon, Vader coming out with the big fucking gimmick, and Bam Bam, another one.
Bam Bam actually wore a mask a little while. Him and Vader wore masks. They knew who they were, but just for the intimidation factor. If you watch these guys, I have the best of Bigelow from Japan. I have a box set, and if you just watch this stuff, it's just. They're oohing and ahhing because they're not only guys that are that big are sumo wrestlers.
Yep.
They don't have big. They had guys like Saruda and a couple other guys that were big, but not that big.
But not moving like
not
this.
No, not moving like that at all. And then the other match, legendary. Ricky Choshu was he was the Kota Ibushi of that era. Okay. Ricky Choshu was an amazing wrestler at one point, fighting Tiger Jeet Singh.
Yeah, and like you said,
who wasn't a part of WCW, by the way.
Yeah, and this was just a Japan only type thing
because he was another guy who he was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, he was coming to the he was coming to the ring apparently, hitting the fans, just full on heel. Like you said, you're not from Japan, so you're a heel. And, Tiger Jeet Singh, Stan Hansen, Brody always played it off the same way.
Correct.
They would come in
and
antagonize. And it was a rite of passage. It was a rite of passage for the fans
even
to
Jimmy,
be a part of it.
Jimmy Snuka, before they realized he killed his girlfriend. But Jimmy Snuka was a heel. Him and Brody were a tag team over there. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Jimmy Snuka was never a heel like that. I mean, Jimmy Snuka was a heel over here for a little while with and then he turned on and then he went with on Skolin. But like, can you imagine him being a heel in Japan if he would have stayed over there? Like him and Brody were a team.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Insane. All right, your next match, very near and dear to me anyway. Two of my favorite wrestlers.
Yep.
The Great Muta. We know my love and admiration for the Great Muta, Keiji Muto, against the man called Sting. Sting is WCW at this point. He is Mr. WCW.
Sting gets a huge reaction.
They loved Sting. And Sting mentioned on a couple of interviews, he liked working with Muta, right? But Muta, typical Japanese wrestler.
Yeah.
Though very athletic, very stiff.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys who don't wrestle that style normally really have to adjust. Now, Muta is in a very unique situation because he's been going to the States since the late 80s, mid to late 80s. He did Florida Championship Wrestling, and then Gary Hart
World Class.
Then Gary Hart brought him into the NWA. So Muta had him and guys like Minoru Suzuki. They worked with the old timers, you know what I'm saying? So it was Muta became a legend, obviously. Still fucking wrestling, world champion right now, by the way.
Yep.
In GHC Noah, but it's guys had chemistry. Him and Sting battle it out. Him and Arn Anderson battle it out. A couple of guys that Muta worked with, he had good matches with. Always had a good match with Sting.
Always with Sting.
Yeah.
And like I said, especially me as a kid, I remember the matches with Sting and Great Muta. That to me, that was always a mainstay. And it's a shame that like WCW at this point couldn't like they really couldn't capitalize on this. And for both sides, both sides, and New Japan and WCW, for that matter, using whatever kind of notoriety they can get from it. But the in-ring action with Muta is, God, he's just at his prime here.
Oh, yeah.
Just everything he does in that ring means something, and he does it with such explosiveness and that back handspring elbow, always constantly going for the moonsault.
Yeah.
And, it just tells that story about everything. And then, like I said, Muta jumps over the top rope, and then a few minutes later, Sting jumps over the top rope, and this is 1991 onto the floor. Like this is just stuff that we don't see.
Right.
And to me, this was a great match. And like I said, to think that Muta's still doing it to this day.
Yeah.
At
58 years old.
For that matter, so is Sting.
Sting's still wrestling. Not very good, but he's still wrestling.
He's still wrestling, and
but they put on a good match. He was almost 12 minutes long.
I love the stuff with the Mist. I was explaining it to Dylan before. He's as a kid, you see the Mist and you just go, where does it come from? It's always amazing to see.
The Mist is just a part of the mystique.
Yeah.
It gets better with age, the costumes, and then he goes back to being himself. Then he goes back to being Muta again. Like he's constantly his Muta and Brett would have been a great match.
That'd be a good fantasy.
God, yeah. That's a great point. Maybe we'll fantasy book that.
Yeah.
Matt, Bret Hart against Great Muta.
That would be.
I would definitely. We should definitely fucking do that as fantasy warfare.
That would be a good one.
So,
but Sting goes for the Stinger Splash.
Yes,
and Muta with the third mist of the match.
Yeah,
comes out with it, blinds him. Once again, it's another quick finish, but it does play the role of always, like Muta did it in this match where he was going for the win, and that's what I got from it. It was like, he obviously missed him, but he instantly went to the next move and was going for the win. And like I say, because it's a contest, you're treating it as such. So, I love this match too. This was, for my inner fandom, my 8, 9-year-old Jay. Like this was a great match to watch.
100%. And it just goes to a credit to those guys because they work really good together, and just they when you could tell now. And now you're an older fan, you see it, you're like, wow, these guys can really go. It's like their matches for the TV title.
Oh,
their
yeah.
match in Starrcade, the tournament.
Mhm.
All right, your main event. Tatsuma Fujinami, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, against the NWA World Champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now, these guys are no strangers to each other. They've fought before.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a rematch with them in Super Bowl, right?
In May, yeah.
But if you don't know who Tatsumi Fujinami is, please, after this podcast, go do your homework. Legendary. He's up there. If you want to do the I guess the Mount Rushmore of Japanese wrestling, it's probably Ricky Dozan, Baba,
Inoki,
and Fujinami. I mean, and then you can rotate that.
You could rotate. You could rotate.
With Chono or Muda
Yeah.
or and it's going to be Tanahashi
Okada.
Okada, yeah. So, but Fujinami was their Ric Flair.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hands down. And another guy who wrestled in the States a ton of times. But these guys complement each other well. This was Flair's angry fucking
short hair. He was gone from the company.
He was
later
leaving.
on this year.
He was leaving. He was taking the world title, and he didn't. This was the Jim Herd WCW regime, and it was like knowing what we know now about the company. You kind of wish Flair would have stayed.
Yeah.
But I'm selfish because if he did stay, we would never have gotten that Rumble from '92, the feuds with Hogan and Savage and Piper. So like you wouldn't get any. And and Bret Hart. I'm just being selfish. But
yeah.
But but you see now the dynamic of the company, and they had the right idea with this stuff. But trying to connect to fans when you're in direct competition and your talent is just like, when you're stagnant in certain parts of the country, you're not moving. It's not mom and pop anymore, and that's when the Crockett's tried to. Yeah, I know Jim Herd made Flair wanted to cut his head and to call him Spartacus. I remember that. But the whole thing is like what we know now about the company, it's just so profound. The match went pretty long. Let's say
I loved it.
No, the match is fantastic.
I love this match.
Yeah, here's another question for you guys, Smarky McSmarkisons. How many bad Ric Flair matches did you see in that time frame?
Oh, this time frame?
No.
Listen, you got to give Flair time. You can't go out there and have him tell a Ric Flair story in 8 minutes.
Broadway sometimes.
He needs 15, 20, 25 minutes, and this match was that. And
Or
this
you
was
see something
excellent.
crawling on the floor. What is that? It's like a bug of some sort of spider, right?
Yeah, Augie's on top of it.
He's not actually.
I'll get it.
Jay, can you go kill that bug before it gets somewhere I don't want it to be? Because now Augie's afraid of it. Yeah. It's a spider. Right under your foot there, buddy. Yeah, because if he gets into my shit, I'm gonna be fucking pissed off. Yeah, I live in a basement level of a complex, apartment complex, and right behind me is the backyard. Sometimes these fucking bugs, and I've sealed everything, but sometimes they get in here because like we have the vents and stuff, and and Augie likes to walk over to the bug instead of playing with it. He'll do two things: either he'll smack it and like he just did and let it go, or he'll eat it, and he didn't eat it. So
way to go,
Augie. Augie's gonna be 10. He's getting old. But thanks, buddy.
I was just glad I didn't flare flop because I'm not usually good with killing bugs.
Oh, you should have told me. I would have did it.
I love this match. I think, Flair's style is very comparable to the Japan style. Flair in his own right he works safe and but he could definitely, he was believable. I wouldn't say snug. I mean, obviously those chops are are everything but working. But and Fujinami's chest told that story.
Oh, 100%.
But I loved it, man. I listen. There's nothing better than a good Ric Flair match than this. And you know, we did get a little bit of a weird finish at the end.
Yeah, so the title was supposed to change. Fujinami's title was supposed to be up, but was not up. It was only for the NWA title, but it was presented to the fans wrong way, like I read in the beginning of the throwback. So Fujinami should have got disqualified for throwing Flair over the top rope if they were fighting the NWA rules, but they weren't. They were fighting for the NWA title,
Yeah,
but they weren't fighting for those rules. No one said anything. So that was presented to it's so weird how it was presented to the U.S. fans differently than the Japanese fans. So this is where now seeing it with rose-colored eyes now, I'm like, this was a really, really bad way to end it if you're advertising the main event as a type. It technically it should have been a title for title.
Yeah. You already had one of them. You know, with a tag match. You know, you can have another title for title. Like it's the idea of the two working together. And I think this was, you know, it didn't sour it. You know, Saito, like I said, worked hand in hand with WCW. I think for what, the next 2 years they had.
No, even into the
late 90s
with with Sonny Ono and those guys.
Yeah.
He brought over Ultimo
But
Dragon.
I'm just saying, like, but to me, this had to be a sour taste at first. To, oh yeah, we're gonna put Fujinami over, and then on your American TV, not even act like it happened. So like, it definitely had to get back.
Right, exactly. So, I hate saying bad booking, but it's like
this was bad
booking.
This was bad
it should have been title for title, and it would have told a great story. But here's the thing too. Now, if maybe they poo-pooed it because of Flair's situation,
Yeah.
because technically he wasn't happy. He was on his way out at that point. He wasn't going to renew his contract. He took the belt with him. I mean, so maybe they did a swerve. Maybe he said nah. Maybe New Japan was like, nah. Why would we give Flair the title if he's not going to fucking be here? Because Vince wouldn't let him go to Japan at that point if he's,
Of course not. Yeah.
No.
And they
would do tours, but not as the fucking. He wouldn't be the IWGP champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was not. I mean, they all have working agreements with New Japan, All Japan, stuff like that.
I like I said, I would like to think. I'm trying to look up really quick, like what Ric Flair's thoughts are. Were on this incident, because knowing Flair, what he was and is to the business, like he would have had no problem putting Fujinami over strong. I would think, unless like I said, he was like supposed to be giving it to somebody else. But I think Flair's the one that inducted Fujinami into the Hall of Fame, correct? Wasn't it Ric Flair that inducted him? So, and I know they've wrestled a handful of times before this as well. But this did kind of the match at Super Brawl in May was a good match too. But to do that match in the States, it had no fire behind it.
Well, you had 65,000 people watching that first match, dude. It's like comparing fucking Fruity Pebbles to Fruity Gems, the Great Value fucking cereal. You know what I'm saying? Of Walmart. But 100%. But it was a good match. That match we'll cover Super Brawl 1.
Yeah, I kind of want to. Yeah,
I think it's in May. I think we're going to be doing that. I think. But that's our throwback tonight.
This was an excellent show.
Yeah,
I wish, like I said, the only thing that's different is, I wish we could have seen the Doom Vader Bam Bam match.
Yeah, well, I'll have to hip you to some of my Japanese archive and show you some Bam Bam and Vader matches.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I have the Legacy Great Muta. That's like 30 gig of fucking Muta matches.
I just love seeing me, nice, especially like Muta at this time. In his element against Sting. you know, he was still playing a little bit of the heel, you know, even in Japan, because man, Sting was just over, and to know where WCW ended at this point, you know, the match prior to this, you know, you had, you know, Warrior against Savage. At this point, you know, that's happened already, and you know that was a good match in its own right. But 1991 was prime for the taking, and to think that WCW squandered the chance.
Thinking about it, looking at it now,
They
right?
were
Correct.
they were head and shoulders better in ring product.
100%.
You know,
100%.
They should have just stayed in that lane, not try to appeal to kids.
Yeah, thank fucking Jim Hurd, fucking Pizza Hut guy. What a dildo that guy was, huh?
Oh,
fucking idiot.
Bad call. Bad call.
Bad call, Turner. You fucking putz. All right, Jay, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Turnbuckle times.
Turnbuckle times. Thank you again to Matt Squires for this awesome fucking intro. I wish Choppy was here.
This is amazing.
Awesome. Anyway, you guys know all the social media gimmicks. ProWrestlingTees.com. We sold the shirt this week. Buy another one. Be a Mark. Buy the shirt.
Be a Mark.
Patreon. Everywhere. Jay's fucking nods. Jay's fucking nodding his head over here.
This is definitely our outro every year.
Absolutely.
Every show.
Absolutely. Feel better, Shaylin. Matt, again, thank you. Thank you to Ron Singh for Skinner. Thank you to WCW for not fucking this up totally.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week with the brackets. I'll put the new brackets up on Monday. You can vote for the next round. And that's it, man. Choppy, we miss you. Maybe not.
Choppy, miss you.
And we're out of here. Is that it? Anything else, Jay?
That's it, brother.
Is that it? You sure? All right. I'm playing it again. I don't care.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll play it again.
Good outro.
Good outro. All right, kids. Have a good night. Say good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Turnbuckle time. 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 When you hear them coming, don't run for cover. Watching wrestling like no other. Turnbuckle time.